Going to a football match in the middle of pandemic feels like an undergoing endurance test in a reality TV show. A pre-match message instructs me to arrive at Hampden Park in Glasgow 3 hours before Scotland kick off against the Czech Republic. I must wear a mask at all times. I must take in all food from my micro bag into a plastic bag provided by the stadium, and all the catering allowed will be shut. So no fancy burgers or cartons of pure Pepsi to keep me going. When I immediately turn up to stadium, there are the crowds are predictably sparse. The pubs outside the ground overflow with supporters wrapped in colored flags. No matter tempting or trying but when I suggest to a steward that might go get a drink ahead of the game, a look of concern crosses her kindly face. Be careful which pub you're going to, she says. They will see you coming. What is she referring to? Could it be the dumped book baggage beside that I'm clutching? I have given my spare ticket to a rear Scot, my friend Alastair, who is from Edinburgh, so also now 100% at home in Glasgow. We decide to take the advice and split the pub. Inside the stadium, encounter fan the longest potential I've ever seen, including a tiny chartered coachman. I pause for a photo edit and they tells me I had it tailor-made, son. It fits me like a glove. It is not just COVID regulation that make this unique campaign tournament. Euro 2020, as a new fasting system modeling, has also become sucked into the culture wars. National football team are symbol of the nation, but that's not a straightforward task at a time when national identity is so fiercely contested. The pressing issue for Scotland is independence. For England, it is race. National football team has decided. English football team have decided to take the knee before matches. As the protest against racism persecuted they are proved by significant protection of their own supporter. Recording. Even the government symbol 설정하고
스카이패스
그럼 저거까지만 녹음까지만 하죠. Even the government symbol 설정을 about 10분. After hesitating for a while, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, condemned the booing and urged them to get behind the team. But two members of his cabinet, Jack Colissimo and Priya Patel, defended the protesters, and not expressing racism but condemning the Marxist of Black Lives Matter movement. Patel, British Home Secretary, accused the player of indulging in gesturing politics. Players from the England team whose pre-game press conference are normally confined discussing tactics, injuries, and the atmosphere inside the camp, now being asked to react home security. It would be natural to assume that cabinet ministers are better at politics than footballers, but the Johnson government has reason to be worried of the collapsing of the England team. Last year, it went down to an enormous defeat when it took on Marcus Rashford over the extension of free school meal for poor families. For poor families. The Manchester United and England forward mobilized a million signatures behind the petition and forced the Johnson government to change tack. The 23-year-old Rashford preparation Euro 2020 defended fan who visiting team that take the knee, saying the Hungarians did the gesture as provocation. As a organism, a right-wing provocateur who is become a hero to the Trumpist right in America by issuing frequent warning about the elderly dangers Europe being flooded by Muslims. Flooded by Muslim. Even some moderate conservatives are uncomfortable about footballers taking the knee. One prominent thinker in Britain lamented to me that football used to mean a political space, but now the national team has become a source of division. I can see what it means. This year's tournament inevitably brings back memory. I think it was 96. When England also played their games at Wembley and the whole country did seem to get behind the team in a complicated way. Complete way. Back then, packed the stadium, all joined in the singing of delight and football's coming home. Now the stadiums are largely empty and some of the home crowds actually bring their players. Bring the players. But as somebody who has been to many England games over the years, I know that the idea that the team was never mixed up with politics or race is an illusion. England games have always attracted a substantial number of Saudi hooligan and far-right supporters, whose pre-game press conferences are normally confined to discuss. No, have always attracted a substantial number of Saudi hooligan and far-right supporters whose trademark chant is "No surrender to IRA." At the last European Football Championship in France in 2016, the ugly tradition of English football hooliganism re-emerged. When I remarked to another fan that I didn't particularly enjoy being caught up in a near riot, outside of Marseille, I was told curtly, "If you don't like it, you should stay at home and watch the game on television." Football ground in the 1970s was also where I saw the most overracing that I ever witnessed. It was routine to see black plugs, bark Bibles, and monkey noises. The football authorities and commentators were silent about this for many years. So if the current national side feel they want to make a statement about racism, it is hard to accuse them of people of political space. But now the national team has become a source of division. I can see what it means. This serious tournament. With respect, the politics, particularly the racial politics, have always been there. The identity issues are rather different for Scotland. Euro 2020 comes as the Scottish government is ramping up demand for a second independent referendum. This is the first major international tournament the team has qualified for since 1998, neatly fitting the narrative of national revival. Arriving in Scotland for the first game of the tournament, I find the local paper full of optimism. In recognition of the enormity of the occasion, the Scottish government has even allowed school staff to listen to allow the kids to watch the game against Czech lives. As a visiting English fan, I wonder how I feel about all this. I grew up supporting Scotland in big international tournaments. I had little option since England failed to qualify for the World Cup in 1974 and 1978, but British identity was less complicated back then. The anthem played for the Scotland side that lined up to play Brazil in 1974 were God Save the Queen, although to recording does not show the Scottish player looking particularly delighted. Today, the crowd and team will be belting off Lost Scotland loud enough to drown out the conversation. With this stern word that we can still rise down and be the nation again. Be the nation again. We can still rise down and be the nation again. When Scotland qualified for the World Cup in 1973, there were more than 90,000 people inside Hampden. But today, thanks to COVID, it's a little over 9,000. Far from the joyous return to the big time that has been advertised, it feels pretty black and lonely up in the stand, even if the Tartar army has been reduced to a little more than a couple of battalions. They built off Lost Scotland loud enough to drown out the conversation. The team started the game with all the expected passion and strength for their captain Dale Robertson can be seen gesturing to his player to calm down. Then the Czech scored and the air sucked out of the stadium. Then the Czech score. The team started the game with all the expected passion and strength for their captain Dale Robertson can be seen gesturing to his player to calm down. Then the Czech score and the air sucked out of the stadium. At halftime, which I choose spent in the toilet next to hand dryer, there is hopeful chatter around the unit that Scotland might be able to turn this round. But early in the second half, football history is made by the Czechs. The team centre forward gets the ball on the halfway line and floats the ball over the Scottish goalkeeper into the net. It is one of the most brilliant goals any of us will ever witness. The crowd is now almost totally silent, apart from a tiny group of cheering Czechs on the other side of the stadium and a group of children near me who continue happily shouting for Scotland, while the dirt around them was frozen in horror. After the match, Alastair reminds me that Scottish fans used to be a disappointment. Making the national football team a symbol of the nation is a double-edged sword. But imagine them scoring wonderful goal and celebrating with fans. But what if your goalkeeper floundering flat on his back and tangled up in the net? Euro 2020 already delivered humbling setback for two football-mad populators. Urban gave permission for capacity crowd to attend Hungary's opening games in Budapest against Portugal. only to see the national side lose 3-0. Recep Erdogan, president of Turkey, traveled to Azerbaijan and sat in a place of honor next to Azer prison, where he was able to see Turkey go down to a 2-0 defeat against Wales. The England team also have a habit disappointing their most ardent fans. The side often portrays an embodiment of what we like to believe are national characteristics: courage, calmness under pressure. In fact, as a recent piece by Jonathan Lee in The Guardian pointed out, England are uniquely bad at holding a lead in a tournament. The numbers seem to suggest they might even be battlers. That or has it, the French and Italians are much better at holding their nerve when they take a lead. If Gareth Southgate, the England manager, can somehow break this cycle and turn England into winning outfit, it will inadvertently provide a huge boost to the Johnson government that is desperate for symbol of the success of Brexit Britain. But Southgate has subsequently but unmistakably positioned himself to the left of the government, taking the knee. He leads a multiracial team and has continually defend their right to make statements on subjects other than football. It has become accepted wisdom in Britain that culture wars always work better for the right than the left. But football may be an exception. A poll taken across Europe for Euro 2020 showed 54% of English football fans support taking the knee, with 39% opposed. If the England team keep winning, the number in favor may rise, along with the team's popularity. But once the right may find itself on the wrong end of culture war for the duration of Euro 2020, I will care much less about who wins the culture war than who wins the tournament. For Scotland, Euro 2020 began with a deflating defeat. By the time this article appears, we will know whether they have restored their fortunes at the home of the old enemy. The England team disappointed their fans almost as reliably as the Scots, just slightly later in the day. But on the other hand, this is a year tournament is taking place in the middle of pandemic. The stadiums are quite full, and England are uniquely bad at holding. And England are playing half decently. I am allowing myself to afford a weirdest outcome of the lot: an England victory. The end. 5.